The growing cost of the Iraq War, one of the main reasons that our economy is struggling. Congressman John Yarmouth of Kentucky said in the Democrats' weekly radio address, the war in Iraq, now in its 6th year, has cost this country more than $500 billion. There are people that would give you bigger numbers than that. Yarmouth says the conflict is, quote, not only linked to our economic skid, but it is a leading cause of it, unquote. He highlighted crumbling infrastructure here at home, while taxpayers fund an Iraqi government, quote, riddled with waste, fraud, and corruption, unquote. A recent poll found 71% of Americans think our spending on the war is a reason for our economic problems. Meanwhile, a piece in today's New York Times looks at where else the U.S. could spend the estimated $1 to $3 trillion that the war in Iraq could end up costing this country. At the low end of the estimates, use $120 billion a year. Here's what they came up with. The money would pay for the projected cost of Hillary Clinton's universal health care plan, or it would pay for Barack Obama's health care plan and his proposed bailout of homeowners submerged in the mortgage crisis. Or it could pay for developing new and renewable energy sources to get us off of Middle East oil and a national public works program. Or it could go toward a long-term fix for Social Security or the unpaid part of Medicare, and on and on and on. And instead, the money's being used to finance a war that is going absolutely nowhere. Here's the question. How much do you think the Iraq war is to blame for the current state of the U.S. economy? Go to CNN.com/Cafferty file. Post a comment on my blog. The question is, how much is the Iraq war to blame for the state of the U.S. economy? From Pennsylvania, we get this from Brian. When I stop to think we could have done with the hundreds of billions of dollars the U.S. has spent in Iraq, it makes me sick. Had we foregone our follies there, that money could have been spent to truly destroy al-Qaeda, improve our foreign relations and standing in the world, develop alternative fuels to reduce or eliminate our dependence on Middle East regimes, provide health care to all Americans, update our straining infrastructures, and pay down a chunk of the national debt and still have some money left over. Mike writes, the downturn in the economy, if there is one, has nothing to do with Iraq, everything to do with the subprime lending issue. The mortgage meltdown has its roots in the Carter administration's Community Reinvestment Act that was strengthened by Clinton. It forced lenders to make risky loans to poor credit risks or be prosecuted by the government for discrimination. This worked fine as long as prices kept rising. Once the bubble burst, though, people defaulted on loans they should not have ever been given in the first place. Karen in Idaho says the Iraq war certainly slurped up money that could have been better spent on things here at home. The decline of our economy, however, is a result of the great sellout to China, India, Mexico, and all of the other places that absorbed American companies. Our jobs are gone. Our factories are gone. Our ability to achieve the American dream is gone. John in Montana, let me think. We lower taxes, increase spending. Our national infrastructure is in shambles along with our middle class. The Soviet Union went bankrupt in Afghanistan. We're about to do the same thing in Iraq. And David writes, the war has not helped, but the primary cause of the economic problems is an epidemic of indulgence in America. We have ourselves to blame. We're a buy now, pay later society. The Iraq war did not force any of us to tap out our home equity and then go on a buying spree. If you didn't see your email here, you can go to my blog at cnn.com/Cafferty file and look for your email there along with hundreds of others.